Well, let's see how this does. Yeah, dude, no. I know this is kind of dark, but I can't seem to get this camera to do anything for me, so I'm going with it anyway. It's mostly about what I say, not what I look like anyway, so I'm just gonna talk, and guess you're gonna listen if you tuned in here. So, I'm Jen Freeman, blessed be y'all. I want to talk about belief and why people think that you have to have belief. It's been almost 20 years now since I started on a path, and I ran across the concept of living without belief, or more accurately, living with not living with a fixed set of beliefs and using beliefs as a tool. I've found out through the years that a lot of people get really mad when you say you don't believe in something, especially whatever they believe in. Whether it be Christianity or patriotism of some form or another, or just about anything that they deem as what is the truth. I think a lot of that stems from they want to validate their own position, and the more people that they can make quote believe the same thing, the more they can. Hey man, I got a clown car next to me. They just keep coming out and coming out. Good grief, what do they have? 10? Good grief, 10 people in that vehicle. Anyway, it's weird what you see sitting in the parking lot of the Vietnamese store. But anyway, yeah, people want to validate their own belief system by other people mirroring that, and they could get violent if you don't want to participate in whatever their thing is. Yeah, I'm having a hard time here because the sun is moving and the reflection in this headlight in front of me is getting worse and worse. Alright, it's time to... I have not been able to do this video, and I'm determined to do this video, and I don't care if this part's on video either. There we go. Now, I can't see the screen, but at least that headlight is not blinding me over here. Hopefully you don't think this is rude or anything for me to wear sunglasses, but belief. Back to belief. Yes. Yeah, people will violently want to oppose you if you don't bow down to what they think is the right way to think. And that way of thinking, depends on where you're at. It may be Christian, it may be Muslim, it may be Hindu. And even Buddhist. I mean, there's plenty of Buddhist countries that have gone to war for their religion in the name of Buddha. People think it's a peaceful religion, but for the most part it is. But just go and study some of the history of the Orient, and those countries went to war just as much as the Europeans ever did, and most of them are Buddhist countries. So I see Buddhism as when you turn it into a religion, it loses its peacefulness there. It's like anything else. Once it's turned into a religion instead of a philosophy and a way of life, a way of thinking, a way of more a way of being. And then trying to foist that onto everybody else around you. That's when conflicts happen. And throughout history, it's pretty much been, my way of thinking is better than your way of thinking, and we're going to go to war about it because I think that your people should think the way I do. Or, you exist in the world thinking differently, so I'm going to stamp that out. And that's what's happened throughout history. And I'm just starting to see that now. I'm starting to... I've studied a little bit about, some of the history of like India and places like that, and it hasn't been one contiguous civilization all the time either. It's been interwoven between the Buddhists, the Hindu, and the Muslims, and power has shifted back and forth between those three great religions throughout the history of India, and we don't know that here in the West. We don't really study the history of the East. We don't even really study the history of Europe and the Americas that much. I mean, other than Columbus came over here, and then we started wiping out Indians, and the evil white man, destroyed everything, and that's the usual narrative. And it's not that sort of stuff didn't happen. I mean, yeah, they were not nice people for the most part, but we don't really know the whole story of that either. We get a very skewed version of that from them themselves, and I don't doubt that Christianity throughout time has always said that we're God's on our side, and we're gonna by God we're gonna make you believe or you're gonna die. So I don't know how to I want to use the word stop, but I don't know how to transform that energy in anybody else. I mean, I can only do it for myself, but that's what stuff is about, doing it for yourself. And even the Buddha in his time, I mean, he looked around him and he saw that he could only do so much, and people could only do what they wanted to. Unless they were already asking the questions, it didn't do him any good to preach to them. And that's what my thing is too. I mean, if people ask me questions about things, I'll answer them. I'll tell them my experience, but I don't go out of my way to preach my philosophy or anything, because I know that 99.99% of the people, they don't want to hear it, and there's a good chance they might even be violent towards me because of that. So anyway, that's my thoughts for today on beliefs. Blessed be y'all. This is Jen Freeman.